So I think the big question that, I've seen a lot of your interviews about what really happened and stuff, but was it a case where, you were watching what was happening, how, your very best friend was being manipulated by Gene? I've heard Andre Harrell, I think 2 weeks before he died, give an interview with Kenny Burns, talking about how Gene came to his house at 6 in the morning to get the publishing from. So it's quite known that he was quite a tough character. You noticed what was happening, and was it like, and we've seen some films where they all vote and say, yeah, we vote for you out, like they did to Bobby Brown? How did the exits happen?
Well, once I got married, I moved to Arlington, Virginia. Me and my wife we were young, moved to Arlington, Virginia. But I thought that wasn't a big problem because Gene lived in Virginia. So we were still going back and forth. And on the New Jersey Turnpike, it's only 3 to 4 hours. So I was always going back and forth anyway. But I noticed that a week or two passed by, I haven't heard from Aaron or Teddy. And this is after Gene gave us a little bit of our advance. And I was pissed about that. Why is Gene giving us our advance? Just wire it into our account. But Gene gave us our advance through Western Union. I'm like, I don't like this. That means he has POA. He has control of the bag. We don't. So I was already in Teddy ear saying, this ain't right, man. So, and then he tried to get us to sign this thick ass contract before we actually got signed. It's just that Uptown Records, Andre Harrell moved so fast that once we signed the Uptown Records, that's when Gene hit us with his contract. So I wasn't going to sign that at all. So I noticed 1 or 2 weeks passed by, I haven't heard from Teddy, Gene. Even if I haven't heard from Gene, I actually damn sure hear from Aaron and Teddy. So I called Gene up and said, yo, what's up? Y'all all right? Why y'all ain't calling me anything? We did the photo shoot, big photo shoot. We did all kind of stuff together. So as soon as I heard the tone of Gene's voice, I knew something wasn't right. Teddy never called me. Aaron never called me. Gene and I had a verbal, old-fashioned cussing out each other. I mean, it was old-fashioned. I mean, you. What are you trying to do? This is my group. No, it ain't. I'm taking the group. Wow. And I'm taking it and consider yourself not part of the group anymore. I was like, you. I said, you could have a group. God gave me that when he gave me, it was stuff that shouldn't have been said, that was said and whatever. And that was it. Now I'm out the group. I cried like a baby though. Once I got off that phone, I cried like a newborn baby because I was hurt.
Wow.
For so many different emotions. But once I finished crying, I spent 2 or 3 days crying. It was like, okay, it's time to get back on the horse and see what I can do. And I went right back because Gene and Teddy couldn't even get a record deal when we first started out. Me and a friend of mine named David Peasley, a white guy who wrote for Dance Music Magazine at the time, he had a relationship with Tommy Boy. And what started the bidding was that we went to Tommy Boy and we got the deal. And then I called Gene and Teddy back and said, we got a deal. Y'all couldn't get one, but I got one. It was just like that. But once we got that deal, Teddy and I had wrote a song for Orange Juice Jones, so we was connected to Russell as well, Russell Simmons. And Russell told Andre, go get them boys. So that's when Andre known for outbidding everybody back then, because he had the pocketbook. And even though we could verbally committed to Tommy Boy, when Andre came along with that money, we had to say, okay, we're going with Uptown.
Wow.
So Gene and Teddy didn't even get the first record deal. Period. Teddy will tell you that if you confront him.
So you, after having this verbal with Gene and he says you're out the group, could he do that though? How could he kick you out the group? Well, did he have any power?
He couldn't really kick me out because I signed no contract, but by then he had Teddy and Aaron in the headlock. I didn't know whether they signed or whatever, but it was obvious that they signed. So that's what made me like, okay, I'm fighting a losing battle over here. If he got Aaron and Teddy, because one thing I knew, and it wasn't wisdom or whatever, it was just God giving me insight. I knew he wouldn't even pull that stunt if Teddy and Aaron would have said, nah, we're not doing that. Mm-hmm. But obviously, they agreed to it. That's facts. They agreed. You know, we with you, Gene. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't hold no animosity, but I'm giving you truth. Yeah. That's all. I'm telling the truth. And sometimes the truth can be harsh, but that's what they did. And basically left me, even though, you know, I've forgiven them, but at that particular time, whatever, they left me for dead. They didn't know. They didn't care. Wow. It was like they would focus on them. And I give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, we were young. But at the same time, loyalty and friendship, a character trait to me is a character trait. Yeah. We were babies together, so how could you do that?
It seems as if you were much stronger in character and determination. Even back then, you seem to have, because you said when you had Aaron, you just quit your job. You went in and said, we've got this, and getting the end of the deal. It seems as if you had a different type of vision and that you weren't limited by circumstances at that point.
I don't give myself that much credit. There's certain times, anybody, if God anoints you and give you a vision and he protects you, we all do things sometime and have faith in something, and things are going to happen in a certain way for that particular moment. I don't know if I would do that now. I don't know. I could. It depends on the vision. It wasn't that I wanted it bad. I did want it bad, but at the same time, I knew it was something that was beyond me. To have that type of faith, to quit your job, to have that type of faith, to be criticized and whatever, you never gonna be nothing. You gonna do this, you gonna do that. To have that type of faith, even when I got put out of a group I love, you gotta remember, they had already Universal, MCA, Uptown Records. They had life-size posters of us. They already had posters of us. My face was on every CD and every album cover you could find. So it was hard for me even right after, in the aftermath, because everywhere I went, people expect even concert, people expecting to see me, asking me questions. Why you ain't on stage? Yeah. You sick? You this? What's going on? Wow. So it was hard. How do you explain that? And everybody that in New York, where we come from, everybody know that Timmy and Teddy was together ever since they was little. So how could your best friend do that? But right after their second album, The Future, then they got rid of James. So
yeah, what was did they spin a story? Because as I said, what was the story because they must have had to answer questions when the video of Groovy came out. What was the story?
Timmy left the group. It was so many stories I can't even say, but one thing I do know, Timmy was disgruntled. Timmy left the group. Timmy got married. Timmy did this. Timmy did that. Timmy didn't get along with Aaron. Timmy didn't get along with Teddy. It was like, you don't have to try to, you already kicked me out, now you want to bury me?
Yeah.
You know, so it was that's how I felt.
Yeah. How did you, full-time job, I'm a therapist, and I can't imagine the world, what that's like, you know, just you're creating something, your friends leaving you, the video's coming out, you've got the biggest track in the country, and you're not part of it. Did you then think it's over, or did you think I need to pack up and move forward? Because that was another question someone asked, is what did you do next? In the midst of all this,
I did think everything that I worked for, everything God gave to me is over. I did think that in the beginning. Yeah. But in minutes went by, and I said, okay, God, if you could give that to me, you could bless me with other things, because this wasn't my doing. I cried like a baby. I prayed, and then got back to work. And I called up the same people who we verbally committed to, and I was wondering, I'm thinking to myself, Monica Lynch and Tom Silverman ain't gonna even want to hear my voice. And my girl at the time said, call them. Just call them. You wouldn't know if you don't call them. And they had already heard the story that Gene Griffin, because everybody knew who Gene Griffin was and what type of person he was. So they knew it wasn't me. So Tom Silverman and Monica Lynch paid for my airfare, gave me money up front, said come down and do some demos for us. And the first demo I did was a song called After 12 that went on the Lean On Me movie for the Force MDs. And then they gave me $200,000 for my solo record.
Wow.
And then I met my partner out, Wookie Stewart, and we started to produce. And we clicked, just like me and Aaron clicked. And his vocals was damn near better because he was a vocal connoisseur. And I wrote 2 songs for him and his solo record, So Cold and Headache, and got him a Sony deal. And then and Cassandra Mills and Lowell Salas brought us out to LA. And that's when we started working on everyone else.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, but most importantly to press the notification bell so that you can be notified when we do have a new interview. Loads to come, but thanks a lot for watching.